I just squeezed out ultramarine, phthalocene blue, and alizarin crimson. These are Winsor & Newton Cotman brand, very good brand. Everything else is fine, but I like to use my Graham paints for the ultramarine. The big thing today to remember is big, big thing to remember, big, medium, and dark. So let's begin and let's mix up two different kinds of neutrals. 30 degrees, that's a perfect elevation for the board. I'm going to mix up 2 puddles of water here, see? Generous amount of water. And I'm going to do a warm neutral, so I will take some yellow ochre. I'm going to use some of this alizarin crimson here, and that's also here, you can see it, but I'm just choosing to use the Graham. And that makes a wonderful orange. And you'll notice I have 2 little spots underneath here, so I am going to take some of that as a secondary color. Yellow plus the crimson makes a lovely orange, and just add a little more of the ochre to it and a little bit of more of this to make it stronger, because I may want to use that. Okay, same thing on the other side. Take a little bit of the yellow ochre, put it there. Okay, what am I going to add next? I'm going to add red to this also. So I've done the same thing. I've added the crimson, the alizarin crimson to both sides, and we're okay. 2 ochres, 2 crimsons. Now it's the blues that make the difference. Ultramarine blue here. Makes a lovely warm gray. We call it a West Coast gray or a mist gray. Clean the brush. Got a nice big jug of water here. See this big jug of water? Don't use little jugs of water. You get dirty too fast. Okay, then I take a little phthalocene. Just a little drop to start with. Let's see what that does. Let's see the difference. Okay, they look similar. And I have a little scrap piece of Arches paper here. There's the ultramarine, see? Clean the brush. Just a little bit water will change, and there is the ultramarine. Doesn't show up too much as different, does it? Let's add a little more ultramarine to it. And let's add a little more phthalo to this one. Let's see if the difference is going to show now. Okay, it's definitely more blue, not as warm. Let's try this one. More violet. You see that? The ultramarine usually has a violet undertone, at least the one I have. You'll see that ultramarine with a violet undertone or green undertones, and there's all kinds of different undertones. So I am going to go with this one. I want to warm it up again, so all I have to do to is add some more yellow and a little more of the red, see, or alizarin crimson. And now you see it's gone to a different, it's gone to this purple. But if I add a little more blue, a little more of that, are we on ultramarine yet? Add some blue. See how balancing out your colors before you even paint, very important. So now we have another one. Isn't that amazing, all these little colors we're getting? But we will get back to the original, which is this one. Okay, it's too purple. Okay, so I need a little more blue. No, I don't. I'll put a little more blue. I need a little more yellow ochre. Clean the brush. And probably a little drop of the original, and we should be in business. No, not quite yet. Do you give up just because you can't get it again? No. You keep at it. till you find the color that you like. There we are. I would say this one here is pretty close to that. It's a little bit cool, so a little bit of that. And that's a little warm now. See, cool and warm are really delicate balances. So look at all those shades. All I have to do is take the one here. I like this violet sort of cast. I'm going to go with the violet cast. And I'm going to be doing the picture first that doesn't have a lot of shading on it. Okay? So here we go. We take this, and what we're going to do is we're going to be going right over the tree in some areas and leaving a little bit of white. And over here I'm going to lighten it with some water, and I'm going to add a little bit of the orange. So here's the extra color down here that I've taken from here and put here, and that's the orange, the warm color. Notice I'm putting the warm color in. I'm not too concerned if it bleeds into the sky. That's what I want. You see that little orange color, isn't that nice? Come across here, come a little closer here. There we go. Now you see these little white areas up here? You just take your brush and damp it a bit. Bring it in like that. Little bits of white are great. Here comes the road. We're going to start the road at the bottom, like that. And then we're going to add this color. We'll turn the painting this way, and we'll add a little bit of the phthalocene at the top. Different tones are good. Putting a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Those are neutrals, really good. Now we're going to warm up the yellow ochre here by taking just a little bit of the phthalocene, just a bit. So it gives it a light green hue. Maybe just a little bit more. Just a light green. There we go. And let's get a little bit more of the yellow ochre here, plus a little bit of the cadmium this time. Now this is where all these little places, I like these kind of palettes because there's lots of places where you can put things. There's a lovely little yellow. We take a little bit of the blue, just right straight blue, like that. There it is. Mix it in. And we'll put a little bit of that in here and there. I'm going to come along the side of the road with that blue. Okay, now we're over to the other side. Is it okay if the blue spills over into the road? Yes, it's okay. No mistakes in art. Just redirections. There's the green. I think it's feeling spring. I get a feeling of spring here. Ooh, look at that, nice variation there. Let's put some warmth up against the house here, right there. Definitely I'm getting a feeling of spring. Just tap a little bit in here, look at that, eh? And now I let that dry. Why do I let it dry? Well, because I want to see what it looks like. So I just have my neutrals here, and I have a little spot there that got a little out of control. I like to hold a paper towel. I find it helps. Take that and see what happens. There. Now it's formed a little circle there, which I just gently rub. It's ultramarine. Why? Because it's coming right off. Oh, look at that lovely gray. See, with the pencil, just taking a little bit of color and the tip of a good brush. This Princeton brush by Princeton Neptune number 4, $35. It's a fabulous little brush. Now look what I'm doing here. This paint is going to have what's called like a grayscale, using some neutral colors. I want this to shine out. So look, I'm going to put a little bit of this neutral up in the sky here. And my smoke is going to have a little bit of white there. There we go. These look like trees in the background. Now that's something I'm quite pleased with, is that look right there. This Arches 140-pound paper. It's pretty decent. Now you see how I'm leaving the white around this little one here too? Now if the trees are orangish here, they should be a little bit of orange here, but I'm going to bring some mist coming in here. So that's enough of the orange. Clean my brush. A little bit of orange there. Whole road in the orange first. That's pretty much what we did in the other picture, but look at what I'm doing. See the sparkle? Just by running the brush quickly over, you get some sparkle. Okay, the shadow on the tree is going to be violet. So, I know this is a little thing, but I'm going to put in the shadow there. And for now, I'm going to put in the shadow on the house. Just using little, like that. Just little marks like that. Okay, last thing I have to do is the green, which I've already mixed from this picture. See, this one's drying up and it's great. So I may need a little more of this green. So I'm going with the cadmium. This time I'm using a little bit stronger cadmium and a little bit of the orange. I'm going to keep it a little more on the orangey side. See the sparkle again? Don't be afraid of sparkle. There, now it's bleeding in nicely. Just bring that right across. Not sure about that, but I like it because it extends the house. So soften the edge. Very damp brush. These can be all low clouds in the horizon. There, great. Now I want something coming down here, so I might just lift this a bit. You see that brush lifts? I like it. It's kind of pointing to the house. Bring this yellow up into the house, see? Just by tapping. I want a little warmth on the house. Tap that in, like that, on both sides. And we can darken that later. So just put a little blue in there for now. So there's a couple color notes. We have a little red and blue. You see how this is coming down very, I'm going to pick that up because I want this white spot here. I don't want to get rid of that yet. And there we go. We got a good start for both pictures. What do? I let them dry. I find that when I do the first lay-in, I get excited. And sometimes if I just keep continuing with the wet paper, I lose something. I don't admire it enough or something. So let it dry. Give it about 15 minutes and let it dry, or use a hairdryer.